My guest today is an actor, comedian, and veteran of the United States Marine Corps. And he's the voice behind Halo Infinite Spartan Griffin, and making his second appearance on the pod. I'm excited to welcome Verlon Roberts.
Hoorah!
Thanks for coming on, buddy. How you doing?
Doing good, brother. Doing good. It's great to see you, man.
Yeah, it's been a while. I love the new setups are rad. Anybody that's listening, you should check us out on YouTube. Verlon's got a new voice booth he's got set up that's purple LED in the background.
It's supposed to be blue, man, but hey, yeah, everything's purple tonight, man.
That's great. How you doing, man? It's what, November 23rd, you gearing up for Thanksgiving?
Oh yeah, man. It's just freaking beautiful today. It was in the 70s. Took a drive up to around the coast and saw the ocean, and just, man, it's beautiful. Definitely being grateful for everything, just a day, good or bad, a day above ground is a win, man. So just happy to be here.
Ducati out?
Man, I haven't been out about a week or so. Yeah, I've been swamped, man. Busy, life, twins, getting ready for the holidays, all of it. But yeah, I did build a bunker, man. As a kid, I always had a little fort or a bunker. No matter where we lived, I built something that was mine. That was my place, right? And shit, I'm still trying to live like a kid, man. I just want to have fun, and so I built myself a little bunker here, a little base station.
Bad, dude. Yeah. Sorry, I slipped out of frame there for a second. I just had to adjust some levels here. Both you and I are having a couple audio visual things going on today. So anybody watching or listening, apologize if there's anything wonky going on, but it's great to have you back. It's funny, dude, you said that thing about the bunker. John Gard, who I don't think you were up here when he was around, but he moved up here from Houston, and I guess his son and him went to Costco, and they have a full fort building kit there.
Yeah.
You can get all these different attachments and stuff and build. So he was calling me from inside the fort the other night. It was fucking hilarious. Check it out. I think he spent about 4 hours. I don't think it cost him very much, but it was him and his son just going deep with it.
Hey, man. I'm telling you, fort building, it brings some happiness in your life. I do it all the time with the twins, just play, man, have fun.
It's the best. Well, before we get into the Halo stuff, I did want to just say thank you for your service. Veterans Day just passed, but appreciate it. And I saw you up here. What were you in Seattle 2 months ago or something, or a month ago?
Yeah, it was 2 or 3 months ago. We went there and just to visit some family and hang out for a while. We kind of missed the hiking, did a nice hike, and missed the, just the green. Yeah, not a whole lot of green in California, but the sunshine's worth it.
What's it like right now? Is not weather-wise, but is with the Delta variant and everything, is everything pretty much open, or is it?
Yeah, man. I mean, in my opinion, it feels normal to me. Mm-hmm. It's just, half the population wear masks, half don't. Most places inside require it. Some places will kick you out if you don't have it. Some places don't give a shit. So it's, yeah. Besides that, it's normal,
America.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
Exactly how the last year and a half have been. But what I saw you, you were in Oregon dressed as a cop. What was going on there?
Yeah, man, they called me in. It was kind of just like the movie Commando, when he's working on his truck. I was outside working on the Ducati. Limo pulls up, a bunch of people in black suits gets out. They said, "We need you." I was like, "Man, no, I'm retired. Leave me alone, guys," And they're like, "We need you and your skills." And so I suited up for them, man.
Hell yeah. What was the role? Or you were obviously a cop, but when you posted, I was sitting there is he doing side police? For a second it caught me out. It's good acting, at least, where I was man, I think Verlon decided to be a cop or do that. It was just,
Well,
can you talk about it, or is it kind of on the DL?
yeah, I mean, I was just playing a police officer in a feature that's being shot there in Portland and Silverton. Um, yeah, I'm just grateful to be part of it. It's a cool thriller with a lot of twists and turns that I think it'll be coming out next year, 2022, called Half Sisters. Super cool director Devin. Likes to do stuff with some cool stories behind it and some impact and meaning, and shoot in Portland and Seattle, Pacific Northwest. So he's trying to bring a lot of stuff to that area, and it's awesome. I was happy to be part of it. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's funny. My brother and my sister, they text me. They said, "Hey, help us settle a bet." Because my brother thought I had legit moved to Portland and joined the Portland PD there. And my sister just knew that I was just playing around, just playing something. And but so anyway, my sister won $10 off my brother. But yeah. But hey, when you're blessed with it, hey, you and I, we were blessed with that. You throw a uniform on us and it's very believable right out of the gate.
Yeah, I definitely did. It's good to say the release date on that though, because the last time we were talking about dates, we got into
Yeah, there was sometime in 2022. That's legit all I know.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
that leads well into our main topic. Fucking Spartan Griff.
Yep.
Last time we talked, you came on, we talked all about you doing Halo Infinite, and like take me back to like, because the way you explained it to me afterwards was that like this was public information, right? Like there had been other people that had spoken about the information on the dates, or like had you heard something, or what exactly went on there?
Yeah, I mean, when I came on, I didn't even, think they didn't even know what Halo would come up or not, but I did, and the information I shared was out there, rumors, leaks, whatever, so there was some information out there about a release date and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, I shouldn't have talked about it, in retrospect. You signed an NDA, you're not supposed to talk about it. So that aspect of it, I regret. But as far as the info, I didn't share that much. The stuff that was out there. But yeah, but hey, it created some buzz for the game, that's for sure. And I mean, not that it needed it, but it's huge now, man. It's man,
Well, the multiplayer got I just had two guys on talking about video games, and I didn't realize the multiplayer dropped already. So like or I guess the online stuff dropped. So
yeah.
it's like the actual campaign, which I think your character would be in, is that hasn't been released yet. But like you can do, I might be wrong. I might get slammed by Halo fans. I just basically like what happened though was, for anyone listening or watching, we talked about Halo or Verlon's acting stuff, and afterwards, like I had no idea you were in Halo. I had no clue whatsoever, and I thought it was interesting. So I just put it on the Halo Reddit. I was like, I wonder if some people might be into this. And I went to sleep. The next morning I woke up and it was like, what? Like I looked at the YouTube numbers and they were just huge, like way more than what we normally do. And I went on Google and I typed in Verlon Roberts, and it was just every page just had your name, my name, your name, and it was so funny because they all cited Fathom and Friends, which is like the name itself for this podcast was supposed to be kind of a joke because I hated being called that growing up. So I'm like looking at all Game Radar, all these different sources citing it, and then the picture of you and I were on all of these things. Like, dude, they were foreign. I think there was a Brazilian source. Like it was all over the world. I was like, what did we do? And I think I called you like 9 o'clock in the morning. And I, did you know about it at that point, or like, were you?
No,
Yeah,
no, I hadn't even thought about it. You text me and then called me, and then I did the same thing. I Googled it and I was like, oh wow. And of course, they beef it up a little bit. They put a little, a little salt and pepper on it, to spice it up. But at first I was just amused by it. I was like, oh wow, definitely, they grabbed a hold of that thing and wrote it out. But yeah, and then my agent called me, pissed, super pissed, like, hey, don't talk about Halo anymore. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, oops, my bad. Basically, like, really had no ill intentions. It just kind of came out in conversation and stuff. Like I said, stuff that I had seen. I didn't dream up that date. No one, told me that date secretly. It's just what I'd read on the internet. All right. So,
you thought somebody had like already mentioned a date like that, and you were just kind of using it based off something that you had seen yourself.
actually, I think I saw it initially on IMDb Pro, on IMDb, basically like LinkedIn for, all
Yeah,
anything entertainment, and
that date shifts and stuff. It was like a throwaway comment, like oh, that's when it's supposed to come out or projected, and everybody saw it and took this as like, oh, this is a leak.
I know.
And like we were just talking about you being in the Marines and like your acting career wasn't, it had nothing. Halo was like, I had no idea that you were in the game. My reaction was genuine. And dude, it like hit its peak when I was on YouTube and there were YouTubers talking about you and I and like cutting up the video and using it. And then it had that stupid like cover art for the episode that Chase drew of like me going into the movie theater. It was like there was no intent behind it. It was just like it happened. But I do have to give you props, man. Like I talked to a couple people that morning, and I think with the way social media is and just entertainment, a lot of people in this space, like if that were to happen, those people would buckle immediately and kind of like take that situation and like try and push it onto somebody else, or just like mitigate whatever their risk is. You stood your ground. You like at no point did you say like, hey man, you got to take all this shit down or whatever. And I respect it, man, because that like it took a lot of, I mean, to have those conversations with your agent and shit, like that's hard. And like I appreciate you not like kind of just being like, hey, drop everything, take it all down. And thank you. Like it shows a lot to me as a friend, and like didn't some good come out of it though with like 343? Like hasn't it led to some other like opportunities, or is that?
I mean, I think it will in the future. I don't think I think they were a little bit pissed at first, but they're great to work with, man. Honestly, like going in to work with them, and that's what I always say is like, that's why I got into this, because it was literally like going there with a bunch of your friends, but you have the most badass high tech equipment ever, and like, hey, let's make a video game. It just had that vibe about it. So they're great and understanding, and it's a learning tool for me, right? I mean, I'm still what, 3.5 years into this industry. I'm learning every day, both on the business side, the craft side, all of it. So it's a learning thing for me to hey, stay on my guard. And even though I did this stuff so long ago, it pushes back. Right after you did it, it's like the most important thing ever.
Oh,
And then time goes by and it's like, oh yeah, you did that so long ago. You just kind of talk about it, but I was just stoked to I was stoked to see those pictures everywhere. And like you said, the name everywhere, your name. So I was stoked to get some steam, going with you. Cause man, I mean, you freaking work hard on this. So I was stoked to get some eyeballs on you and what you're doing. And, we didn't hurt anybody.
uh, it
Free
was
marketing, free
Yeah,
marketing.
no, it was crazy. Like I felt like we broke the internet when it happened. Like I woke up, I was like, I couldn't have crafted something to happen like this. And like, I don't, people that don't podcast, or they're just like, they're not creating content. Like, it's so hard to create content that breaks through like all these algorithms without doing it like specifically for that purpose. So, like, unless you're doing like a TikTok theme, or like some kind of like, unless you make the content the way that the content infrastructure wants you to, you they like they don't shadow ban it, but it's like it's hard to fucking break through. So like when something like that happens, it's like it's a big break, you know, like
Yeah.
that's 1,800 people that came across my page. And this is a good reminder to anybody watching us on YouTube that if you have any questions or comments, make sure to put them in the comment box. Click the like button, subscribe button, and notifications bell so you find out whenever we make some new upcoming episodes. We got a video game episode coming out week after this one, where we're going to be going through the history of video games, all the consoles, favorite things with two of my comedian buddies. And doing those things helps us push through that algorithm that I don't like, and get some new people listening and watching. But I got a couple questions for you from people listening that just had questions for you based on the last episode, if that's all right.
Yeah, of course.
So Jeremy of Gap Shooter Motorsports, which is he's a buddy of mine. He's been on the pod before. He's got a clothing company. Check that out. But he said, I saw a teaser for the upcoming Halo live action series. Do you have any involvement with that and or feedback?
Oh no, I mean I'm a fan, you know, just like you, getting information off the internet. I'm stoked about it. I'd love to be part of it. I'm hoping that it turns into something, you know. I think Halo's got a huge following, and if it's done right, I think it could turn into, you know, a long running successful show. I really do. But yeah, I would love the opportunity to have a shot at it.
And they probably are going to need a Spartan Griff, right? Like it's.
That's right, man. You gotta have him.
Hey, um, can you talk about what your character looks like? Has that been released yet? Or
Yeah, you know, I don't even know. I mean, I base it off of, like, you go back and look through some history, because not a whole lot of history on Spartan Griffin, but in the book that I'm reading actually right now, Shadows of Reach is when he comes up, and but just based off of that, and there's a couple of, like, I think Mega Bloks action figures out there or something, but basically purple, you know, purple. You know, that's it. It's
yeah,
just
that's what I saw on Google too when I searched.
yeah.
I don't want to
But
like.
that could change, you know. I mean, they could. I guess they could do whatever they want with it. I don't know if they're going to follow that history or not. But I'm as excited as everyone else, if not more, to see how it comes out. You know, because that's how it is. You do a lot of this, whether it's video games or, you know, short film, TV, whatever you're doing. You know, you go do your part, and you have an idea of how you think it's going to come out in the end. But then you watch the finished product, and it never is. You know, it's completely different. You know, it's like, wow.
Beauty of editing, right?
Yeah. So it is. I mean, that's who makes it. So I'm curious to see how it all comes out too, you know. But it was cool. Assume this is coming out after the 8th, right?
This will come out the 29th, so next Monday actually.
Oh, next Monday. Okay. Then there's some stuff I can't talk about.
Yeah, let's be good about that one this time.
Yeah. But well, cool. Well, then December 8th, we'll all see how it plays out, and the part in
Let's
the
break the internet again. Come on.
yeah.
All right, second question. Chase Murphy, who he's one of the two guys that's going to be in the episode that we recorded, which I honestly think, like, I'm not trying to like plug my own stuff, but we're going through all of the like main generations of video game consoles from like Super Nintendo on, and talking about what our favorite consoles were and why. So if anybody likes like the history of consoles, check that out. But His question was, did you get to work with Jeff Stizer at all? He was the voice of the Halo classic Kill Medals, Double Kill, Triple Kill, and Killing Spree.
No, no, I didn't. Yeah, I mean, there's been a ton of people attached throughout the games and just other little side roads that they've used in Halo. But yeah, I got to work with Jen Taylor, the Cortana, and Bruce, who does the mocap, all the mocap for Master Chief.
Okay.
Both super cool people. And I got to work with a friend of mine. So get this. So we both auditioned for it. We went to school together at Seattle Film Institute. This Cade Morrison, a good friend of mine. Just awesome young man. But so I texted him that day. He's like, "Hey man, I got a video game audition." I said, I think it might be for Halo. You know, it's a lot of I think it's for Halo. It's pretty easy to figure out if you know Halo. But he's like, "Hey, me too." And I said, "Okay, cool. Well, let's meet up when we'll do our auditions together." And so we did, and we both booked it. So I got to work with him, and that was cool because that was like our first big audition right out of Seattle Film Institute, you know, and to both just start off with some success like that together. It was a great experience, you know. So that was super awesome.
How much different is it for you now in LA for like just opportunity? Because Seattle film, like we're not known for like a big film industry, this area, right? Like it's not compared to other part, like I guess New York and LA. Like, are you getting more frequent work and like just more opportunities being down there, or was it pretty good up here?
I mean, it was fine there. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, but a lot more commercial, you know, a lot of big commercial, a lot of independent stuff going on. But definitely nothing like LA or New York. You know, you're not going to compare with those. Atlanta's growing, but still is not LA or New York. May never be.
Did you work with David Nance at all?
No, but I kind of got to know him just like through Facebook a little bit through you. Seems like a great guy.
Yeah, you should. Next time you're up here, I'll have to introduce you. He's a solid dude, and
Yeah.
he's a good actor, super nice guy, and he's really plugged in up here. Like he's somebody I need to have on just to talk about like film in Seattle, because I think he's in school for it now. But that's just my way of shouting out David too. But
Yeah.
last of the listener questions. This is from Aaron Heron. It's a little interesting of a question, but it's at what age did you first realize you wanted to step foot in the mind of a Spartan? And at what age did you realize that it wasn't the historical Spartan warriors with swords and shields, but a fictional Spartan warrior from a fictional universe with lasers and shit?
I love it. I love it. Man, I've been playing stuff since I was a kid. That's all I remember doing as a kid. I mean, once I saw Conan, I went through my Conan phase. I was outside with a broomstick in my underwear, whacking trees. So I've been through it all, man. Spartan, barbarian, any of it. I had it all in my imagination. But no, I mean, when this opportunity came, I was like, you know, I was shocked, you know. I was just because playing all those games growing up, you know, you think about it. Every time you know, like I used to watch monster trucks and I want to be a monster truck driver. And you play video games and you're like, I want to be in a video game, you know. But for it to happen, it was awesome, you know, super. And yeah. I love that question.
Yeah, dude, he's somebody that definitely has supported us quite a bit on the pod, and good dude. He's actually a comic, so I figured it was going to be silly, but all right. Well, that was most of like the Halo stuff, but you gave me a list of some other stuff that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, but one like so what you said earlier about as far as the difference, I never really completely answered you. But LA, yeah, a lot more going on, but you still have to grind because, like I said, I'm still new at this. So you still got to go out there, just like man, you know all about grinding, and just building those relationships, getting out there, perfecting your craft, doing it over and over to get better at it.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's what I'm trying to do. I mean, plenty of opportunities. I've been blessed and grateful to meet some people via social media here and there through some veteran organizations and shoot and do some stuff with them. And then auditions. I mean, it's slow right now for the holidays, but before that, super busy with auditions and got super close on some pretty cool shows. Got pinned a couple times. None of them went my way, but I mean, to make it that far, I mean, you're talking out of thousands just to get to that, essentially top 3 to 5. So man, that's a huge win. So just to make it that far, but still not book it is a win. But yeah, he's still grinding.
Yeah, it's one thing I really appreciate about you is, I struggle with just the like transactional relationships aspect of entertainment. Like I'm good with being on stage, I'm good with writing, I'm good with doing this, I'm good with, you know, putting the time in, but it's like I just sometimes, man, I'm just not in the mood to be around other comedians or like it's we're a different breed, and to like have to kind of, I'm sure actors are similar where it's like they're intense people, and to be around that a lot is intense, and like it, in order for me to do what I want to do, I have to like mingle in that, but like sometimes I'm just like, man, I don't like it. It's just intense, and you've always been someone that has like a very like positive attitude, and like with all the stuff that you have going on too, like I'm like, is that something that's deliberate, or like is that a mindset thing, or what would you say that is?
Yeah, just I mean, having a family helps, because both of these industries, I mean, you can get swallowed up in, you can really get into it. So no matter what's going on or how busy it is, just coming home to a family always, because then you get so busy. I mean, we have 4-year-old twins, and you get so busy, and wow. And I have 2 older kids. My daughter, she's a dental hygienist now. She just finished college. My son's about to graduate high school. So having kids from age 23 down to 4 years old, it gives your mind somewhere else to go, right? And so you just kind of forget all that stuff. There's a lot of failure associated with what we do, a lot of rejection,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
and it can get to you. So if you don't have like a strong mindset practice, I feel like it can start to eat at you. And I learned that early on. And luckily some stuff through the Marine Corps and just, finding stuff and teaching myself some Wim Hof stuff. I developed a little routine that I do that I think definitely helps.
What does that routine consist of, like?
Just a lot of breath work every morning. I do 3 rounds of Wim Hof, or one of his exercises, and then just a lot of visualization. Where I really want to be, and just down to the detail. What my day would look like if if all my dreams were to come true. From the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, what would that complete day look like? And just thinking about that, and mantras, just some mantras to think about through meditation and just speaking out loud. Just, I don't know, just anything to spark get the brain thinking, positivity, that it can happen. So much negative shit out there that you can get overwhelmed easily.
Yeah, man. Especially like, I don't know, it's kind of I mean, you were talking about there's 1,000 people auditioning for that job and there's one spot, and
Mhm.
it's the scarcity mindset. And when there's only one spot, like people, their their behavior and their intentions and all that stuff, like their a lot of times ethics like sort of just go out the window. And I have to imagine like there are times too when like you don't get something, and you're like, am I not getting it because I wasn't the right person for this part, or am I not getting it because it was political, or like there was some, I have to imagine LA is full of like, I know somebody that got somebody this, that like, and that's just the business. Like that's the game of it. But you got to have a tough mind to be able to deal with that when it goes against you, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, there's been a couple of things like I said, I was pinned for that, man, I wanted that I started manifesting a year and a half ago when I read an article that it was going to be made, this badass Navy SEAL show that's going to be on Amazon Prime. I remember reading that and like started manifesting it that day. I want to be on that show. I want to be on that show, Opportunity came, got pinned for it. And of course, you start to think like, shit, this is gonna happen, and then boom, nah, hey, they're gonna go another way. Yeah, that's tough, but you gotta accept it as, hey, that's a win, and move on to the next one. Some of them, man, some of them you can move on and forget about them, and some of them you can't. And I think you got to accept that and realize, hey, yeah, you really wanted that, and it didn't work out, so deal with it and move on. But you got, that next one's coming, and it's I related a lot to deployments and combat. It's just that constant, because it'll be quiet and then you'll get like 2 or 3 badass auditions that you just want so bad, right? And you work so hard at them, and then boom, send off the self tapes into the abyss. Who knows what the hell happens? You just hope for the best, and most of the time you don't hear anything back. And then everything comes crashing down, and it's quiet again for a couple of days. And then you go right through it again. Oh, here's another big opportunity. So just riding those highs and lows, it's just, you go out on a mission, you come back, everything kind of settles down. And you're like, oh, wow, so just dealing with those feelings and those, and just going forward, do like you do, man. You just focus on the next event, next podcast, next show. You going to Arizona, man. I see all this shit you're doing. I'm like, fucking, it's awesome, man.
Stoked, man. That was Thomas Nichols got me into that club, and got a bunch of family coming out to go watch it. And it'll be, I think it's like 100-seater, but it's like super intimate, and like just it's a fun club. Like it's getting to do stand up in like new cities and spaces is the best, and I'm stoked for it. But I did want to say, like, the last time we talked, you had mentioned that mindset thing, and how like looking at an audition as the win itself, and not the like whether or not I get the gig. This is driving me like you can hear me okay, right?
I can. Hey, you know what I was thinking? It might be throwing it off. You and me get my headphones and see if that helps on your end.
I just want to make sure, like, I'm showing my levels, but it should be all right.
Okay.
All right, as long as you can hear me.
Oh yeah.
Okay. But you were mentioning how getting the audition is the win, and whether or not you actually get the part, you have no real control over. Like, there's too many external things, politics, all the other shit. But I did like 4 comedy competitions in 3 months, and it was just like I went in with that toxic mindset of like, I need to do well, or whatever. And the first one, I fucked myself over. And then the second one, I don't think it had much to do with me. I think it like sort of went like there were some things outside of my control that affected it. And then the third one, I fucking, the whole time I wasn't taking it seriously. Like, I was like, you know what? I'm in this thing. I'm just having fun with it. And all these people were like obsessing about it and shit. And I made it pretty much to the end, and then, didn't end up winning it. But like, I had so much more fun doing it the third way than the other 2. Like, it's the emotional ups and downs and shit. And like, a lot of how I've been approaching comedy since then has been that way, where it's just like, if I'm on stage that's the win. Like whether or not I do, if I have a great set, like fuck, who cares? Like I'm on stage and I want to, as long as I have fun, that's what I should be worried about. Like I'm not going to be a comedian for every audience. Like it would be weird if I was, like if I could make your grandmother laugh as much as your older son, or like it's just it would be that's a weird person. There's not a comic for literally everyone. And I there was like a lot of peace in that to where I was just like, you know what? My job is to control how much fun I have. And I tend to do better when I have that mindset. The problem is like staying in that mindset is so hard. Like your emotional response is like to constantly go back to like fear and have that drive you. But in those moments where it's like I stay in that place, dude, it's so much fun. It's like because what we're doing is it's the best. It's like to get to play for your job is like
Yeah,
it's the shit. I mean,
it is. And I mean, you nailed it. Like my best work is when I'm not worried about anything. I'm just free, open, having fun, playing.
yeah,
That's when you find
you're out in
the
your
great stuff.
backyard doing that Conan shit.
Yep. But as soon as you start, you start putting pressure on yourself. Oh, I really want to win this. Or I really want to book this. You start getting that aspect. Yeah, it's never great. It's never your best stuff. But that's all part of the game. I don't know. It's part of the challenge I like about it is just juggling all that stuff and trying to figure out and keep your cool long enough to hit one of those opportunities out of the park, and because that's all it takes is just being in the position for something to happen. And both of us are,
Oh yeah.
tomorrow something major could happen for either one of us just because we're at the dance. I'm just happy to be at the dance, you never know. So it's just it's fun.
I don't know, man. You know Mike DeVore.
Yeah.
He started working a day job and he was telling me like the people that he's around just bore the shit out of him. Like he's like he can't. He's like they're telling him a story and he's waiting for like the funny or good part to come, but the story just ends and the person's just looking at him and like he's just spent so much time around like creative, entertaining people to like go around not around that is like it's jarring to just be like, oh, this is what like not pursuing these things looks like. So it's like I think when you're in that grind mentality, it's easy to focus on like, oh, these are the things like this isn't what's going my way, but like to actually be in the circus is pretty fucking good. Even if you're just like around it, it's a blessing,
It is.
Let's talk about the Baldwin thing and then yeah, let's do that and then maybe your return to comedy before we
Okay. Yeah, well,
here before you do that, walk me through. I know this is crazy that I don't know exactly what happened, but what happened with like give me the details of Alec Baldwin's situation.
well, I'm just basing this off of everything I read and heard, the multiple stories, different scenarios. But, basically someone handed him the firearm, which, most of the time it's a real firearm, just shooting blanks. So handed him the firearm, said, hey, it's cold, it's unloaded, whatever they told him. And so he assumes it's good to go, aims and points, and shoots the director. Hey, we might have to pause, man. I have my kids like banging on the door.
Hold on, just yep, go for it.
Okay.
We're back. We slight interruption from the twins, but you were saying Baldwin, he was handed the firearm. It was supposed to be cold, and what ended up happening?
So I guess he was aiming it, and I mean, obviously had to aim it at the director. I don't know. I don't understand all that, but again, without being there, who will ever know what really happened? But yeah, shot and killed her. and another person on set got injured. But yeah, that's what we know. Speculation about whether it was a live round or a blank that, sometimes the blanks will still projectile something, or that could have exploded. Who knows? But yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. And so now there's a lot of debate about what's going to happen. It could have been prevented. I did some special ability work on the show SWAT, and they use real weapons. And the guy that was handling the weapons there, I mean, I've been around the weapons since I was 18 years old in large fashion in the Marine Corps. So the way this guy was handling it, I guarantee you that accident would have never happened.
Mhm.
The way this gentleman on this set was handling it, I it wouldn't happen. So just like in any profession, people get sloppy, they get complacent, or maybe they're not properly trained. So I mean, accidents happen. You have to treat it. If there's live weapons there, you have to treat it like, like it's. So CGI, I mean, it could easily be fixed. It costs a lot more money because there's plenty of dummy weapons out there that look legit, and then CGI, it's just getting that actor to be able to to show that same recoil, because it still has to look like it's being fired. So just, training that actor what recoil looks like and feels like, so they can simulate it when they're firing. That's the most difficult part, in my opinion. But it can be done, and it has been done. But more money, people. That's what happened here. I feel like people trying to save some money, cut costs, and
Dude, my internet, I swear this happened the last time we were meeting. My internet froze up on your video. I can still hear you fine.
yeah.
But it might be, let me see. Just always, there's no way that you and I are gonna do one of these calls without something happening.
It's always you and I. It doesn't happen with the other guests.
I haven't had like it. I just remember it like the last time you froze up, and you froze up this time again in a similar pose. But let me see. I don't know if there's really a whole lot I could do, to be honest, but
That's fine.
we are getting pretty close to the end too. Maybe it'll click back here. Hold on. Let's why don't we just talk quick about you going back to comedy, and then call it, just for time's sake anyway.
Yeah, sounds good. Um, yeah. So it had been a while since I had been back up on stage. When I came and visited, when I saw you in Everett, I didn't go up that night. I was just spectating. But the
Here, I just sent you a request to start your video.
there we go.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's all
Back
we.
on.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, I hadn't been up in a while, so I didn't go up that night in Everett, and I came back. But I joined this group, man, and like I said,
Oh,
mindset.
there was one thing I wanted to tell you. Sorry to bounce around.
No
Uh,
problem.
that Baldwin thing, my buddy, like, if there was any added reason to like need for people to need to fight about guns, like it's like, just, there's always going to be that argument. But I had a buddy that's like, he's a former Marine, and he was cleaning his firearm in his kitchen, and his dog like jumped up when he was loading it, and ended up going off and shooting straight through his kneecap. And this is just a dude that has every kind of firearm training possible. Just shit happens, like it's not, I don't know if it's necessarily, that could have been a knife, it could have been, and I mean, I'm sure you have opinions about firearms, you've used them way more than I have. I don't really, it's not a part of my life that like I really even think about, but it's complicated. And I mean, shit happens. It's fucking crazy. Like,
Yeah, I mean, anytime you have, a person, a firearm, in any type of round, there's a chance for an accident. All three of those in the same location, an accident can happen. You have to realize that. But yeah, I think it could. I think it'll be a learning tool. Hopefully everyone will realize that that's not the area to cut costs and get highly trained people in there. Or if you're not going to do that, don't use real weapons. There has to be a certain standard if you're going to use real weapons, and if you can't meet that standard, then you can't have them. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's got to be addressed.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so back to you getting back on stage. I know that's a weird transition to go from somebody getting shot to you getting on stage, but let's talk about it.
Well, I have a stupid story. So when I was a kid,
Okay.
This is another reason why, I was like, damn, I want to join the Marine Corps. But anyway, growing up, I didn't grow up with a dad, and my mom bought me a 22, right? She bought me a little 22 rifle. I only had it a week, and I had a little box of bullets, of little 22 rounds, and I had it in this like plastic case. And then I had the idea. I was like, okay, I need to hide these, keep them, safe. I was really young, and so I was like, I'm gonna melt this case to melt the lid on, and one of the rounds went off and shot through my window. This was like 11 o'clock at night. My mom comes running out and just thought I was dead. And yeah, so that was my first experience with firearms. I didn't know shit about them. No one had taught me anything. I wanted one. My buddies, talked about shooting squirrels and stuff. So I was like, yeah, I want one. And but yeah, she sold it immediately. And then but as I got older,
I know
yeah,
exactly what you're talking. That was the first like firearm I had, and that made me think like when I was like 10, we were camping up in northern Vermont, and maybe I was a little older than 10, but it was the first time anybody had booze around, and we were drinking, and one of the people I was with started throwing 22 shells into the bonfire, and we'd throw it in and run like hell, and then it would just like pop, like all the logs and stuff. Dumbest thing I think I've ever, in hindsight, it was incredibly like, I don't know what we were thinking, and it kind of like came to when we put a shotgun shell in there. That was when it was like, oh, this is too far, because the whole thing just like it exploded. It was making your own fireworks, like the shit you do when you're young.
I know exactly why we do it. I watched my son, who's 4, and some of the shit he does. I'm like, okay, I get it. We just never stop doing dumb shit. It never stops.
My grandpa, he grew up in Rush, Kentucky, which is a small, like nothing area of Kentucky. And they used to, this was the 30s or 40s, they would melt down tires to where, like, how there's a ring of like steel in a tire?
Mm-hmm.
Take that and then throw that ring up onto power lines. And the whole thing, as soon as it touched, just exploded. I asked him, like, did you ever have fireworks as a kid? He's like, we had our own fire. We made our own. And I was, that is so much scarier than anything I ever did. So it's been going on for a while, it runs in the family.
That's funny.
But back to comedy.
Yeah. So, but no, it felt good to go back up. But like I said, so I'm in this group. We meet every week. It's the Insiders group. There's this actor, Matthew Del Negro. He leads it. We just go in there and we, we hold each other accountable to our goals, and we talk about stuff we're going through in the industry. And, it's just good to have people to bounce things off of and get ideas, and everyone that's kind of going through the same thing. But I had mentioned how I've been wanting to go back up on stage and get back into open mics. And I just kept putting it off, finding reasons not to go. But so one day I told them, I was like, okay, hey, I'm gonna go next week. I'll treat it like I owe you guys fucking money. I'm going, right? And so I made myself go, and I signed up for this place. I'm not super familiar with the scene here. I was prior to the pandemic. Then it opened back up, and it's all different now.
Oh yeah.
But so I go in this and I sign up, and it turns out that there's other comics in there, but it's also the club owner, and it's kind of like an audition to see if if he wants to book you. You do 3 minutes, a few other comics in the audience, and then you have the owner and his buddy there, just just staring you down with a notepad, right?
Yeah.
But I had fun. I had no pressure because I knew I hadn't done it in a while, no expectations, but I think it went okay. And they did say they'd put me on one of their bringer shows. You bring 5 people. So but but that's not saying much. But it was fun, man. It was good being back up. And it's just right now it's tough to go back on that full-time open mic circuit, with my schedule. And I mean, auditions come in, a lot of time it's quick turnaround. You have that night to work on it, record it the next morning or sometime early that afternoon. So eventually I'll get there where I can hit it on a regular circuit. But right now just here and there. But it's fun, man. I miss Tony V's. How's it going? Is it booming? Is it
is
doing about the
really
same?
fun. Quinn and I are hosting it, little Q, and we're getting a consistent audience coming out. And I mean, we were gonna lose the room. I don't know if I'm the ideal person to produce, to be honest, because I'm just like not. It takes a certain person to like want to be like, oh, answer a bunch of questions and like be social and all this shit. And like, I can be there, I can be on time, and I can start the show, but I'm just not like, nobody was ever that way towards me when I started. And like, I don't really know how to do that. That's just not who I am. So like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody, but I'm not going to just put on a face so that like some random person coming to open mic thinks I'm like, it's kind of my job, like I'm trying to get up and like work on my craft. But we have regulars coming out, we have a ton of fun with it, and we're putting some like everything we make into promotion. So Quinn and I aren't making a cut at all. It's just going straight into like ads. So if anybody's looking for something to do at Everett on Monday nights, come through Tony V's. But we got a few comics that come through that are like strong comics that are like using it to get better. And that's what we want out of the room. Like you can go and do a little bit of comedy in different rooms all throughout the scene, but like we want it to be a place where you can stretch a little bit and kind of not have we just want it to be somewhere where we're not controlling what people are saying. Like you go up and speak what your truth is and let the audience decide if that's something okay. And within reason, like if it gets to be, every week the same person's doing the same stuff that's just clearly not even jokes, then we got to make a decision. But we've been lucky where that hasn't been the case. So like, yeah, it's been really fun.
Yeah. That's what I always liked about Tony V. You didn't know what the hell was going to happen. It was like a variety show. There's always going to be, something out of the ordinary that pops up. But yeah, because it's tough to find a place that'll let you do more than 3 to 5 minutes. Unless you've known them for years or you're just damn really good. It's hard to find a place that's going to let you stretch. And Tony V's was always that. If you ask, as long as they could fit it in, you asked, hey, can I do a little longer? I really want to try this. Everybody's super cool. But I always loved it, man. Especially for a new comic starting out. I feel like it's a no better place to work on your craft than there, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a great room. It's been a lot of fun. Well, before we roll out, where can people find your stuff? Like anything you want to plug or promote or?
Yeah, just Instagram, Verlon Roberts. You're gonna see more about this right here. I'm gonna be launching a Twitch channel. It's gonna be on Twitch and YouTube. So that's going to be coming up around the launch of Halo Infinite. So I'm going to be playing the campaign and going through the campaign with everyone and kind of experiencing it together. So that's going to be fun. But really, what's going to be about mentorship. You know, I grew up. I didn't have any. I don't know. I didn't have any guidance, man. And I don't know. I feel a calling to give back and help anyone that's looking for some mentorship, some answers. Maybe has some answers about the military, or you want to get into acting or just life bullshit from life. I've been through it all, man. A lot of failures. I've learned a lot from it. So I want to give back and help people. And so I'm gonna be doing it through this and finding victories in our life every day, man. And just be positive, and whatever your dream is, let's do it. So there'll be more about that coming out. Just yeah, I'm thankful for you, man. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm so thankful our paths cross and to see your success, man. And I mean, I have to acknowledge that just your work from when I first met you, man, to where you are now. Like, man, it's good. Proud of you.
And for people listening, what's the name of the Twitch channel? Because it's
so it'll be Victorious V.
Okay.
Victorious V. Yep. Us. We're gonna do it. We're gonna form an alliance, a team. Yeah. But keep an eye out for it. It's coming.
Oh yeah, man. Hey, thanks for coming on. Thanks again, everybody, for listening and watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to rate and review us. If you're watching on YouTube, please make sure to hit the notifications bell so you don't miss out any upcoming content. Video game episode we're going to be having is a week from today. And as always, follow us on Instagram at FNF Pod for any additional stuff. We're going to leave you with Jaga.
I just make the waves, I don't write them. I can hear the lyrics in my spirit as I write them. Why you wanna walk and talk just like them? I can't get caught up in all the hype and the excitement. I just make the waves, I don't write them. I can hear the lyrics in my spirit as I write them. Why you wanna walk and talk just like them? I can't get caught up in all the hype and the excitement. Welcome to my wave pool, my wave pool. Welcome to my